Welcome, everybody. How are you guys doing? Man, this is the Golden Broom Show, and I am your host tonight, George Hancock, aka the Real Hog Fan. You can find me on Twitter. We are joined tonight by the legendary Mr. Propellerhead. He is our and he loves me when I say legendary, but
Legendary.
it's true. I mean, there's no other Propellerhead. I've never seen one.
Not that
Uh,
I'm aware of.
So we got a great show for you tonight. We're going to preview a bunch of tournaments and kind of talk about what's already happened, what we think is going to happen, and we may have somebody join us later on. So stay tuned. It's going to be a great show. This is the Golden Broom Show.
Yeah, they all gathered round, got the cops on the horn, said, look what we found. They thought we were a dime breed, proving them wrong. I'm the king of the...
Man, oh man, oh man.
Look, the fish was even singing with us
I
tonight,
know
man.
it. I know it. So excited, man. There's been some awesome baseball today. First, I want to apologize, everybody. We're a little late jumping on. Normally, we're pretty close to the button on 8:30, but I've had some schedule interferences. So, and we're missing Cody today because he is at the beautiful Hoover Met Stadium for the SEC tournament. So, hoping to catch up with him and get
I
his
hate you,
take.
Cody.
I know, right? Golly. If you've never been to Hoover, if you've never traveled out there for the SEC tournament, do it. It is worth it. It is a beautiful stadium. It is a lot of fun. I've been there once, cheering on my Hogs, of course. I don't even have a hog hat on tonight. Oh well, maybe it's luck. Maybe they do good tomorrow.
I mean, do you really want them to do good?
No, we'll talk about a little bit about that later. But we've got a lot of stuff to go over tonight, so I'm gonna let Chris kick it off. We got some pull up the first tournament. Let's get it started.
Well, first we got to take care of the housekeeping stuff first.
Well, okay, all right.
Since the tournaments are the biggest portion of the show tonight,
yeah,
we got housekeeping to do.
Okay.
So, first issue of housekeeping is we have some teams that are on some win streaks.
That kind of housekeeping. I got you.
So, let's take a look at the first one.
Sure.
The Clemson Tigers have won 12 games in a row. They are on a tear. They have played themselves into the discussion of a national seed.
Yeah, where the heck did that come from?
And if you don't understand what the national seed is, let's explain it for the newcomers.
Yeah.
A national seed is somebody seeded in the top 8
Yep.
of the NCAA baseball tournament. And as a top 8 seed, you have home field advantage in the regional and in the super regional on the second weekend.
Man.
You'll play at home all the way to Omaha.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it works out, sometimes it don't. But Clemson has played themselves into that discussion after a very lackluster start. I think Eric Bakich has really put things together down there. And that hire seems to be paying off. Huge dividends already in year one.
Yeah, we were iffy about it earlier in the year. Clemson was not on our list. Was not. If you would have told me, a month ago that Clemson would be even in the discussion, I'd have laughed you out of the room. But they have proved us way wrong. So kudos to them.
So the next team on a win streak, they have won 13 games in a row.
13 in a row.
How about those Grand Canyon Lopes?
Man, they have been playing some phenomenal baseball.
So
and good for them, man, to end the year with a 13-game win streak.
Especially after the way they started the year, with the great showing at Arlington, winning 2 games out there.
Mm-hmm.
Did a fantastic job against the Power 5 competition. That's one of those mid-major teams that you really don't want to see them in your regional because they are capable of beating Power 5 teams.
Yep.
And they are no stranger to doing that.
No, GCU has a lot of firepower. I wouldn't want to meet him in mine, in presumably the Fayetteville regional. But kudos to them, man, for to be a mid-major, win 13 in a row, and be a dark horse kind of threat to come in and challenge for regional. That's incredible for that program.
And last but not least, on our teams with big winning streaks.
Oh boy.
I do believe this may be the closest that we've come to a Flame Award this year. A Flame Award is 20 straight wins.
Oh man, 20 straight wins.
If this team gets to 20, they will be in Omaha.
Wow. Crazy.
So let's take a look at Oral Roberts Golden Eagles. 15 consecutive wins over there in the Summit League. They are the favorite to win that conference. We'll discuss that a little bit later. Absolutely amazing ending to the regular season for the Golden Eagles. In your region or a 3 seed in your region.
Yeah.
You know, they are capable of winning games. And a lot of people don't pay attention to them because it's the Summit League, you know?
Yep.
It is what it is, but that's a team that you don't want to see in your region.
Right. Yeah, no, you don't. I agree. And 15 in a row, that's you got to be playing almost perfect to pull something like that off, because I don't care if you're a national seed. I don't care if you're the best baseball team in the country. It is hard to put together a 10-game win streak versus let alone 15. So phenomenal, just phenomenal.
And while we're talking about win streaks, here's another team that's on a streak. They've won 8 straight SEC games.
Yeah.
I think it's 9 straight overall. And they have played themselves into a regional host discussion. And they get the recipient this week of the Golden Broom Award.
Oh, man.
Because they have won 8 straight SEC games. And, you know, we discussed giving it to Tennessee. However, they did lose the middle game against South Carolina.
Yeah.
And, you know, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee did finish the season on a tear, but Auburn, the way they've come on late in the season, it's what Butch Thompson does. Seems like he does this every year. At the end of the year, his team is playing their best baseball, and that's what you want.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, can't argue with that. They looked shaky at best earlier in the season. Then they looked okay in the middle of the season. And then I don't know if they just took a shot in the arm or what, but at the end of the season, I mean, they're one of the best baseball teams in the country right now. I would say LSU probably don't want to play them right now. There's not a team in the country that wants to play them because they are playing phenomenal baseball.
Of course, LSU doesn't want to play them because in those 8 straight wins were 2 wins against Kentucky to take that series from them.
Yep.
And what even makes this even more incredible is that they swept their series at Missouri this weekend.
Yeah.
And did not use a single starter that they've used all year long. which is incredible that you can go out and win a series like that without using a single starter that you used all year long.
Yep.
Absolutely amazing feat by them this week.
Yeah.
On the flip side of that, we have a dirty sock that we have to give.
Yeah.
And they've won this a couple times this year.
Mm-hmm.
They had everything in their grasp. And playing the team that struggles on the road. Tennessee was 2-11 on the road coming into the series this weekend with South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee takes 2 out of 3.
Mm-hmm.
Probably should have won game 2 as well. Some questionable pitching decisions there by Tony Vitello. Kind of took away from what Tennessee really did this weekend.
Right.
But for a team that had their eyes at midseason on a top 8 national seed to finish the year losing 5 out of 6 series and going 1-3 last week, when a lot of the discussion was the winner of the Tennessee South Carolina series was going to host a regional.
Yep.
And they laid an egg.
Yep.
And for that purpose, the South Carolina Gamecocks get this week's Dirty Sock Award.
Yep.
So,
regardless of the injuries, you can only ride that bus so far until rubber meets the road, and you're going to have to figure out how to win ball games. And
absolutely.
I mean, we talked about it last week. Arkansas has figured out how to win ball games with injuries. How come South Carolina hasn't? Now, I know. You ain't got you do not have to rub it in.
Yeah, I wasn't going to rub it in too bad. I was just going to show you that that hog kind of got tied up this weekend.
So, I was using an example before we went to Nashville, which if we're being honest, if you're playing on the road in the SEC this year, you have a slim to none chance of winning a series.
Hey.
It is something remarkable that I don't think I've seen in a long time. But we have
a little bit of good news.
Oh, looky there.
Looky there. He's even watching it.
He is.
Cody,
he's already shared it and everything.
Cody, if you're watching this and you're driving, Lord, don't let the wrong people know that you're watching this while you're driving. Come on, man.
Especially in Birmingham, people start killing folks. But no, I mean, look, South Carolina, it's time to figure it out. You know, you had a chance to do it. You had a chance to pull it off. There's got to be somebody in that lineup some way for some changes, flip flop around, something to get something to happen. And I know that, you know, they had a good showing today in the first game of the tournament. So I know we're kind of previewing that. We haven't even started that yet. But, you know, with that being said, you know, maybe that was their wake up call and they were able to figure it out because, you know, we'll see. But anyway, South Carolina in a nutshell right there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you want to get into some conference tournaments a little bit?
Yeah, we might as well. We're on a roll. We might as well. Let us know when you jump in, where you're watching from, and we love comments. So don't forget to comment because we will definitely pop yours up there on the screen. Go ahead, Chris.
Let's go with some mid majors right off the top.
Okay.
I mentioned Oral Roberts earlier, winning 15 straight games.
Mm-hmm.
So let's touch on that Summit League.
Yeah.
Oral Roberts is the 1 seed. They're playing Omaha, who's the 4 seed. Omaha is very capable of upsetting them.
Yep.
They've played at times. Omaha's played some really good baseball.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, Oral Roberts is the proverbial favorite in that league.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually got somebody else I've got my eye on that I think could steal a bid from the Summit League,
Hmm.
and that's North Dakota State down there at the 2 seed.
Mm-hmm.
They've played really good baseball. They started the season.
Hmm.
Make no mistake, they started the season at 7-23.
Wow.
They are currently 22-28. They've gone 15-5 over their last 20 games.
Yeah.
In the last 10 games, they're 8-2.
Wow.
They've really turned it around. Part of the big reason that their record was so bad to start the year,
Mm-hmm.
it was front loaded. Teams with
Mm-hmm.
Nebraska, Texas Tech. I mean, it was a loaded schedule early in the season. And
Yeah,
they took their lumps.
Yeah, they had a very tough schedule early in the season.
But North Dakota State, I think, is a team that could sneak in there and snag that bid away from Oral Roberts. Not saying they will. I just think that's a team that I'm gonna keep my eye on this week. So how about some Conference USA?
Yeah.
We know DBU played ETSU this weekend and they swept them.
Mm-hmm.
Was a huge win for them.
Mm-hmm.
And DBU is the 1 seed in the Conference USA. They have played themselves into a hosting gig.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to come down probably your Final Four, probably, well, I'm just going to say top 3, DBU, UTSA, and La Tech is probably how that's going to go.
Mm.
And ladies and gentlemen, while we're talking about some mid-majors, let's bring on our special guest. Mr. Jody Robinson.
Yes.
Welcome to the show, sir. How are you doing on this fine Tuesday evening?
Little sore. Played about 12 holes of golf. Did okay.
Yeah. Did
12
you go
holes
under
of golf.
par?
Nice.
Yeah, it was good.
There you go. There you go.
Jody is here. Yes, he is.
Our
the myth, the legend.
Our intelligence is here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far.
So let me throw that Summit League
My
back
Rub
up.
Runner Cup.
There you go.
Love it. Love it.
So let me throw the Summit League back up here. This little 4-team tournament. I don't understand why they only have 4 teams in this tournament, but I want to get Jody's thoughts on if he thinks North Dakota State might pull an upset here.
You know, when we were in the WAC and we were in those tournaments, and you're a one bid conference, there's some serious pressure. So anything can happen. You get a guy that spins one on you and you're out. They're in.
Yep. Yeah, I was discussing how well North Dakota State's played at the end of the year versus how they started the year. I think they could sneak in there and get that.
That's where you want to be playing better.
Right. So let's go some West Coast stuff over here and get to Pac-12. Jody knows a lot about West Coast baseball.
Oh yeah.
And we'll get his thoughts on the Pac-12 over here.
Yeah, what do you see, and who's your favorite there, Jody?
Stanford's going to be the favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Oregon State's going to be like right there. Oregon. My dark team is USC. In Stanky, we trust, and he's done a great job.
Yep.
I think they beat UCLA today. So that tournament deal is a lot different because I think some people were sandbagging. All we got to do is make the tournament, then we play well there, and we're in. And I think teams like UCLA, they had some problems. They were really good early. Usually great pitching, and they've had some injuries. So I still think Stanford's going to do it. They're going to host. They're going to be in Omaha. They're the team, but you've got a couple teams that can be pretty nasty in a regional.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And there he is. Cody has made it to our stream.
No way.
What's up, boys?
Mr. Hoover himself.
Love it.
So we were just looking at the Pac-12 tournament.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I saw Southern Cal had a good win today.
Yes, they did.
You know, who would have thought, you know, when Vanderbilt hosted number 12 UCLA and they took 2 out of 3 in that series and held UCLA to 2 runs in the entire series.
Mm-hmm.
Who thought that would be a RPI negative for Vanderbilt at that point in time?
Yeah.
I did not think that.
I don't think anybody did.
No.
And it's turned out to be a negative in the RPI for us.
Yeah.
Wow. You know, the RPI deal is kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think anybody's really figured it out yet.
No.
I think there's some other things you need to really look at besides that.
Yeah.
But that's what they're going on.
Yeah. You could honestly be a brain surgeon that cross trains into a nuclear physicist, and I don't think you could figure out the RPI. Just my thoughts.
I think the biggest thing in the RPI right now is they reward you for who you play and don't take into consideration the results of who you play.
Yeah.
So I just don't think that's a fair way to look at stuff.
No, and that's a whole show in itself. We could talk about the RPI all night.
I don't understand how they do an RPI. You know, they're thinking, and then they've got a strength of schedule, and some of these people have a great strength of schedule.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden their league is awful.
Yep.
And they still got a great RPI, and it's like, I don't know.
Right.
Agreed.
Well, Kentucky stayed number 2 after their loss tonight.
Wow, that's crazy. I'm
actually with Jody. I think Stanford handles their business in the Pac-12.
Mm-hmm.
I think USC is a solid dark horse to win that.
Mm-hmm.
And Oregon State and Oregon, you can't overlook either one of them.
No, and at times Arizona's played good baseball too. I'm not going to say that they're going to come out and just dominate, but just watch out for them as well. But
did they win game 1 today?
Yes, they did.
Wow. Yeah. Good win for them.
Mm-hmm.
They needed
that.
The
Wildcats are hot.
Yeah.
You know, my dark horse in this one's Washington. Jason Kelly's doing a heck of a job up there. And I really, really believe that Washington could actually make a move in the big tournament.
Yeah, they're pretty good. And you know what? You know who's really missing Jason Kelly?
LSU. Oh, yeah.
You have a little bit of ties there.
Hey, anybody knowing a lot of Tennessee people? I'm thinking about going to Hoover. I need some tickets.
Yeah.
Randy Jowers, you got any tickets?
Give me every ticket you got. I know, right?
Y'all want to look at? Would y'all rather look at? Yeah. Would you rather look at the Big 12 or the Big 10 next?
Surprise us.
Yeah. Just pop something on the screen.
Let's go with the Big 10.
Why not? Oh man, let's talk about Iowa and Michigan. Boy, what a dominant performance that was.
So I think this is a 2-bid league.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Unless somebody sneaks in and steals a Big 10 title.
I agree.
And even then, it might just be a two-bid league.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I agree.
And I think those 2 bids that are just from the outside looking in, I think Iowa and Maryland are both locks to get in.
Yeah.
But if one of them lays an egg and somebody else gets in there and wins this tournament, I could see it going to the winner of the tournament and either or Iowa or Maryland.
Yeah. Well, but if you were to put money on it, anybody in this room right now, if you were to put money on it, who would you say would lay an egg first, Iowa or Maryland?
Maryland.
Yeah, that's what
I know.
thought.
Maryland has one dominant pitcher in Savacool.
Yeah.
Indiana's my egg.
Ooh.
I can see that.
I can see Indiana laying an egg.
Yeah.
You know what? When I was in the Big Ten, there was only 4 teams, and it made it a lot tougher. Mm-hmm. And I think they're trying to get another bid out of the thing, but I believe it's a two bid league.
Yeah.
Yep.
Unless something miraculous happens, I don't think they get more than 2.
We've got a guy in our deal, Brad, and he thinks that it's 3 bid league.
I'd like to know who he thinks is the third.
Indiana, Iowa, and Maryland.
Oh, he thinks Indiana is the okay. Now, if they don't have a good showing in the tournament, they won't be.
Well, yeah, and then that's why I think they're the egg.
Yeah.
Yep.
Although they won today, they beat Illinois.
Okay, well,
they'll play Iowa. They get Iowa.
They play
next.
Iowa next. And Iowa's pretty good.
Yeah. Iowa's got some pretty stout pitching.
Yeah.
That's one thing for sure.
Yeah, that's an interesting tournament there.
So another conference, it's kind of a mess. Let's take a look at the Big 12. Kind of hard to see.
Yeah, that's Hey, Cody, whoever's in their graphics department, man, you need to take their job because this is.
Yeah.
this is like, why do we have everything so teeny tiny here? Anyway, I can't even I can't see the times.
Oh my gosh. How many
bids are they getting? 4?
Are they?
I think bids? Probably 4 sounds right.
Yeah.
So Texas is in.
West Virginia's in.
West Virginia's in.
OK State's in.
You have to think Oklahoma State's in.
Yeah.
Maybe TCU.
That's what I was going to say. Maybe TCU, but I don't.
I think TCU.
Gotta let the cat in. I'll be back.
Okay.
Honestly, though, Oklahoma's a team that's been pretty hot as of late too.
Yeah, they have been.
They might sneak in.
If they have a good showing in this tournament, I think, and I think if TCU lays an egg, then Oklahoma could have that opportunity to jump in there. But
but honestly, a lot of people think Texas Tech's in as well.
Yeah, they played good baseball, but you can't put everybody in. So
it's true.
It's going to depend on who
TCU really has to play well.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
That's kind of what I think.
Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah.
I actually think TCU's got to go deep in this thing to actually get in the tournament. I could be way off base on that, but
they're deep in the RPI, aren't they? They're not even close.
They've been hot and cold all year, and I just think they have to make a deep run.
Mm-hmm. Lately, they've been more hot than cold, though. They beat Fullerton 2 out of 3.
Yep.
The Titans they've really got to struggle now.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with Fullerton right now. They've got to pull their heads out of the sand or something because that's just ridiculous.
I say it's Jody's fault because ever since he came on the show, they've been doing awful.
You know what? Cal State Omaha should actually threw a jinx on him. It is my fault.
So just kidding.
No, I believe that.
Any jinx is real.
TCU's got a chance. Texas Tech is very good. Texas won the league.
Mm-hmm.
Out of all of a sudden they play well, so that's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Well,
yes.
Well, I think they tied for first with West Virginia.
Yeah.
But they
beat them the last weekend, I think.
Yeah, they swept them the last weekend.
They had to play the way in there, which was remarkable. I mean, I don't even know how they did that.
So here's a tournament. I really don't understand what they got going on here.
Yeah, we were talking about it before the show. I was like, hey, let's look at the graphics and kind of get familiar. And I'm like,
this tournament here, just I don't understand it. And that's the ACC.
Yeah.
I've never understood the ACC
That is
ever.
the weirdest tournament setup I've ever seen. I guess
I mean, they put you in
record,
they put you in 4 blocks, and whoever's got the best record after the first 4 days, the best 4 teams go to the semifinals.
Sure.
It's weird. It's weird to me.
It is the weirdest setup I've ever seen in my life. But Wake
Well,
is
there's a
your
bunch
clear
of smart
favorite.
schools in there, so there's
Yeah,
probably a reason.
They probably all put their heads together and came up with this mess, because this is a discombobulated mess.
Yeah, so we had Boston College, North Carolina win.
Yeah.
NC State's currently winning.
Oh, what's the score in that?
I can't remember now off the top of my head.
But
I just glanced at D1.
So is that a 5 or 6 bid league?
Probably. Yeah, because you got, let's see, of these, Wake, obviously. Then you got BC, Duke, Clemson.
Miami?
Virginia Tech, Virginia.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, might as well just put the whole conference in.
Almost.
I mean, Pitt and Georgia Tech are out. I think that's safe to say.
Mm-hmm. Does Notre Dame have enough juice to get in, or no?
I don't think so.
They've been kind of down.
They have been down here. They played good ball in the middle of the season. Now they've just kind of fell off the map.
Honestly, I wouldn't put NC State in. I know that's not a favorable opinion, but
I'm
not buying
my
the hype
boy
on them this year.
Elliott is probably not getting in now.
No, they could win the whole daggum tournament, and I don't think they'd get in.
Well,
if they win the tournament, they actually get in.
Yeah.
Well, okay, all right. Let me rephrase that. They could get to the tournament championship game and not get in. Sorry. Of course, if they win the tournament, they get in, but that's a long shot.
And that's been his modus of operandi. They do different stuff at different times.
Mm-hmm.
They get hot.
Yeah.
That's what happened when they made it to Omaha. They went to Arkansas and won that deal.
Yeah.
Don't remind me of that year.
Was that a bad year for you, Chris?
That's a little bit of a bad memory for me.
Hey, NC State deserved it. They played their butts off, but I hate that they didn't get a chance to play in Omaha. We've talked about that on the show.
I actually just watched a podcast last night called 2% Podcast with it's got Harrison Ray and Ro Coleman and Kim Bofentris that played at Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
And they were interviewing Jack Leiter.
Oh.
And he said, I served up the home run and I'm watching the ball and I feel the ground shake. The ground literally shakes in Omaha.
Yeah.
And all I could think of was, this is pretty cool. He didn't think about giving up the home run.
No.
He think this is pretty cool.
Yeah. He was just
Speaking
a
of Ro,
fan.
is Ro retired now? Is he just doing podcasts?
He's just doing podcasts.
Wow.
Dang. I loved watching him at Vandy. He was fun to watch.
And if you haven't seen the 2% Podcast, their storytelling on that thing is some of the best I've heard in quite some time on a podcast.
Oh, I'm sure.
They were talking about Tim Corbin one time got mad. They went somewhere and got no hit. Texas A&M.
Mm-hmm.
So they come back to Nashville and they're training. They don't call it practice. They call it training at Vandy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he puts a pitching machine on top of a tractor, pointing it at first base. He takes out some yogurt and he's dipping the yogurt with his fingers and eating it and dropping the ball into the pitching machine. Instead of rolling it in there, he's just dropping it in there. And the pitch is coming at him like 150 miles an hour. Yogurt balls.
Oh, my God.
Goodness gracious.
I have this vivid image of him doing this stuff now. The yogurt all over the face. Like I said, if you haven't watched them, their storytelling is fantastic. And some of the Corbin stories, you will roll laughing at them.
Old school.
Yeah, real old school.
Yeah. You had a bad weekend off the plane, you got back to the school. Kids are starting to put their stuff away. They go, "What are you doing?" It's time to practice. Andy Lopez did that the year they won it. So yeah, it happens.
My dad is actually friends with Andy Lopez, by the way. That's very random.
Really? Tell him I said hi.
Yeah. So back in like 96 or 7, we went to the SEC tournament, and so we go every year. And Florida was playing. We're going down by the dugout, and he like called my dad out by name, and I was like, looked at my dad like, what the heck? And apparently, like my dad had like worked on a recruit's car one time when they were traveling through or something, and they became friends. I was like, this is weird.
That's interesting.
So
talk about a genuine great person.
Yes, super nice guy.
A great person.
So if you noticed, there's one that we haven't covered yet.
No,
and the reason I saved it for last because it's the big one. It's the one that everybody in the country talks about.
Yep.
And that's the SEC tournament.
Yep.
I've got Tennessee winning it all. Oh.
Oh man, I gotta change my prediction. Shucks.
Speaking of which,
I predicted Alabama. I'm still in it.
Oh yeah.
Hey, that's a good prediction, to be honest.
Yeah.
So speaking of Tennessee,
well,
they got one hit today.
Yeah. And Jody will have fun with this one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Please give us your take, Jody.
Did you see Chicken Dave got on a radio show yesterday somewhere in Knoxville saying Tennessee had what it takes to win it all?
Oh, well, yeah.
They're still going to get in the tournament.
Yeah.
Yes.
They still have a chance to win it all.
Yep.
But the showing in the SEC was a little embarrassing.
Absolutely.
I hate to say this. I'm just going to say it. Why not? If that's not tanking to be ready for the for the real show, I don't know what is. To come out and lay an egg against A&M and get one hit. I mean, you almost have to try to play that badly. And that's what it looked like to me. I mean, I'm not Tony Vitello. I'm not the one calling the shots, but it was awfully suspect to me to be like, hey, we're in the tournament and I'm going to change up my lineup and get one hit and catch out.
Well, there's a big difference in it too, though, if you think about it. So Tennessee, obviously, they're in the tournament no matter what.
Yeah, right.
But they definitely, I feel like they blew their chance to host today officially.
Yes.
A&M, on the other hand, they're on the fringe. They had to put everything out there, and they could not have looked any better today. I mean, that was a fantastic performance.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about the host bid. Because
Kendall Rogers mentioned that also.
Yeah, that Tennessee needed to have a good showing to have that
actually, he said they might have blown it. So,
wow, maybe they didn't throw it and they just played horribly bad. So
I think that's the case.
If that's the case, then that's
just one of
not
those
a good
things.
sign.
Sometimes you lay an egg, and today was
didn't Tony
Easter
do
for Tennessee.
But didn't Tony do some really weird things with his batting order and his lineup today?
Absolutely. Yeah, he changed his order up. It made no sense. He his pregame interview was very weird. Like it's like he was on vacation. It felt like it was very strange.
I mean, it's Tony Vitello we're talking about. It would not surprise me if he was on vacation in the middle of the tournament. I saw a message today and I shared it. Expect the same kind of weird lineup and changes and pitchers you've never heard of from Arkansas tomorrow. Because Dave Van Horn said a name I've never even heard of. I mean, maybe I just missed it, but
Emmanuel Warrior.
Yeah, I was like, okay. Let's look back and see when Mr. Emmanuel Warrior even threw a pitch, and I mean it's been a while. So
1979.
Yeah, right. So I mean it was just I was like, okay. So I see his outlook here. We're already hosting. We're already locked in. let's get some young guys in there. If we win, great. If we don't, oh well. And I think that's what we're going to see tomorrow. So A&M, they have nothing to. I mean, they have stuff to gain, but it's not like they're trying to get out of here early to get ready. I mean, they need to get going in the tournament. Yeah, they're going to have to, and so they're going to be fighting.
Van Horn's fine. They're in. They're going to host.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So I wanted to discuss another team that every publication in America has got this team hosting a regional.
Oh, Kentucky.
And a lot of them are trying to put them in as a top 8 seed.
I know.
And they've lost 5 out of 6.
I know.
And they just get shut out at the SEC tournament and go zilches down there.
Yeah.
If we can't put to rest the idea that Kentucky is a top 16 seed and for regional, I don't know what does.
Nope.
They're not deserving, in my opinion.
No, it'd be the most undeserving host I think we have seen in many years.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think they're going to get a West Coast host because of this.
I hope so.
Wow. Yeah. You're probably right, because I honestly think that Kentucky should have at least won a few to get the ball rolling. But you're right. You mean
Oregon State's probably going to be in there, or Oregon.
Yeah.
Well, SC's not going to.
Yeah.
And I heard that mentioned on a Twitter space the other night that the NCAA is going to put 2 hosts on the West Coast. Stanford won't be the only one. It's something that they have
State
to do.
Hasn't followed through, so they're out.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they love going to Goss because that environment up there in the postseason is it's incredible.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be very interesting to see what we see in this tournament out of the top seeds. Is LSU gonna play well against? I guess South Carolina won against Georgia today. So now we finally get game 3, right?
Yes, and I'm very finally excited
get game
about
3. Yeah, but are they gonna?
John Turd. I'm sorry, Hurd.
Yeah.
The way he pitched the other night, though, he's officially good in my book again.
Well,
he's good for a couple days until he pitches tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Throw him. My whole deal is if I'm in this tournament and I know I'm in the tournament, I'm throwing my first 5 guys in the first 2 games and then see ya. I'm taking the rest of the tournament off. They got their work.
Yep. Well, and that's
exactly what Van Horn's going to do.
Well, exactly, and that's where I was getting at, with the exception of Vandy, because they've had to finally right the ship against Arkansas. I'll say it; it doesn't matter. And I think LSU, Arkansas, and Florida. It would not surprise me if all of them are early outs, because they're not going to throw their best guys to get their arms worn out. And that's the reality of the situation. So it would not surprise me if we had a late
Alabama, baby.
Alabama, Alabama, A&M, some team like that come through, and
I think Auburn's very dangerous.
Auburn could very well be the team to beat in the tournament if
Auburn better score some runs then, because they're losing to Mizzou right now.
They're losing to Missouri right now.
I mean, it's like 1-0, but I mean, still.
Well, what's the
score?
That's an elimination game, right?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, Mizzou will be out. They'll be back soon.
Yeah.
So I think I figured out what LSU is going to do pitching wise. So do Hurd / a bullpen day tomorrow, and then if they're playing it to win it and they stay in the winner's bracket, I think they're going to do our rotation, but in reverse. I think Javen Coleman would go second. I think you'd put Ty Floyd in the semis, and then you'd let Skeens close it out. In a perfect world, that's what happens. Now, obviously, perfect worlds don't exist in baseball. So
I don't even, dude. Honestly,
I disagree.
I don't think we're going to see Skeens in that, especially if it's a situation of late in the game. I don't think we'll see him if LSU gets down 5 or 6 runs and it looks like it's bleak. I don't think he pitches at all.
You know who will know when he's going to pitch? The scouts. So get a scout, and they'll find out when Skeens is going to pitch.
That's true.
You're right. That's true. Watch them extremely closely.
I got 2 pitchers in the SEC. If they throw a single pitch at the SEC tournament, I'm calling for both of the coaches to be fired. That's Devin Futrell at Vanderbilt, and Paul Skeens at LSU. If either one throw a single pitch at Hoover, you got to question the coaches.
I'd be shocked if Skeens doesn't throw. To be honest, I really would be shocked
if he doesn't throw at least 60 pitches.
Yeah,
really. Well, I guess that's one way to do it.
And
put him in for a couple.
He's got to have a regular throwing progress. So if it's his day, they're going to throw him 60 pitches. He's done.
Well, and that's fair.
That is fair.
I just think you got to get those 2 guys that haven't had a weekend off all year. I think you got to get them a week off going into the tournament.
I think Skeens has had some, he's a 100-pitch guy, 90-pitch guy, and they've kept him at that. It's nothing crazy. So
no, he's been going 120 plus.
Last
3 outings, he's hit like 120 plus pitches.
Oh,
yeah.
That's why I said he wasn't going to throw.
Sit him. Don't let him throw. I'm with Chris. Sorry.
Yeah. See, because that's what I noticed because he's been throwing 120 plus. He's doing. They're pulling a Kevin Kopps, and he's throwing 120 plus pitches for like what was it 3 weekends in a row? He's hit that.
Wasn't he a relief there?
No, he started.
Was that the relief pitcher for Arkansas?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Kopps.
But he's throwing in every game in 120 pitches.
Yeah, well, and the only reason he was able to do that was because his best pitch was the gyro ball at 83 miles an hour. He's not one to throw heaters, Kevin Kopps. So Skeens is a different story. Skeens' fastball is lightning quick. So
if you look, he don't throw the fastball that much anymore.
Nope.
He's going all his off speed lately, and I love it.
He's probably saving his arm. He's probably
for sure.
In clutch situations that he has that power in his back pocket. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. And I told Chris this earlier on the way home. I said it's weird because here last few years, it seems like with the more popularity that college baseball has gotten, the more heavily, more presence in Omaha and all that stuff. The SEC tournaments almost felt like in some instances with top seeds NIT. You don't try near as hard because you got to get ready for your regional. And because we've seen that happen and bite people in the butts too many times, and they're like, we don't like this. So I don't know.
The last time Arkansas did this and they won it and they wanted to win everything, they didn't win Omaha.
No.
They had a pretty good team.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. And Van Horn put in all his chips.
Couple of weeks. This is a tough week, man.
Yeah.
And everybody going on short rest.
If you're already in, you don't need it.
No. Yeah. That's the argument. I mean, it's all about strategy now. What really do you do? Do you pull all your chips in one bucket? Exactly.
And that's why the Big Ten went to 8. They're trying to get another team in.
Yep.
And if that happens, then if somebody takes a bid, you should lose a bid from the league you've got.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah. While we're on that subject, Jody, I was going to ask you because we've been talking about teams bowing out of tournaments early. Was that something that was prevalent back when you were playing and coaching? Was that something that was even discussed?
We really didn't have tournaments back then.
Okay.
The when we were in the PC2A, you won it and you were going to a tournament. I guess it was the PAC then. You won it and that was it. At Illinois, no, it was a 2-bid deal. So it was a 1-bid deal, then it actually got to be 2 bids. So
yeah.
No, it was. They weren't doing any of those tournaments where you're throwing off and you're in.
Yeah.
So it's like the right now Fullerton has had a few problems.
Yeah.
And UC San Diego is winning that thing.
Oh, yeah.
And now you've got Santa Barbara trying to get in.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if Fullerton wins out, they tie.
Oh, wow.
But I'm not sure. So that's another two-bid deal. So pretty weird.
You don't think you can get 3 in over there?
No, I don't. West Coast baseball. I mean, there's a couple of really good teams. Long Beach has really played good. Northridge has played really good. Santa Barbara. But the whole deal is the sleeper is UCSD. I mean, for all year, I'm going, man, this is UC who? And they just keep beating people, and they swept Fullerton. Mm-hmm. Started on this losing streak. So Fullerton's got to beat San Luis to tie him.
Mm.
And if they tie him, then that means Santa Barbara's out.
Mm.
I don't know what Santa Barbara's RPI is. Maybe it's 3-bid.
Yeah.
If Fullerton loses, it's still a 2-bid. Fullerton's not getting in unless they tie UCSD.
Wow.
And what about you, East Carolina? I think they
dropped it. They got beat
today.
That's
yeah.
That was hilarious.
I don't know if it's hilarious, but
I think that drops them all the way to a 3 seed.
They can't win if they're not at home. That's awful.
Sounds like another team I know.
Which team is that?
A certain team that wears orange and white.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me. I was like, don't you dare bring Arkansas in this conversation.
So Tennessee was going into the South Carolina series was 2-11 for the season on the road.
Yeah. That's poor.
But they're going to host.
Yeah. Do you think Tennessee's still going to host?
No, I don't believe that.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
I don't think they will.
I thought they took care of that today by getting one hit.
They're going to host.
Randy thinks they're going to host.
They're going to host.
Has Randy sent you a little text today or not?
Well, he's not in the comments yet, but
I did see one message that he sent today that he thinks they blew their chance.
Yeah.
He's a realist. That's not he told me.
I saw that little back and forth earlier.
Y'all were jacking.
Yeah, well, that happens. It's a smack site.
It is.
Right.
You're supposed to smack each other every once in a while.
Exactly. And if they would have smacked the baseball like he was trying to smack, they might have been better.
Yeah, I know. Instead of smacking each other, they smack the baseball.
They got one hit.
I'm telling you, you have to just try to play that bad. That's what was so funny.
What kind of a sideshow stuff do they have? I know they got a helmet and they got all this stuff. They got a cape. What do you wear when you got one hit? Nothing?
No, they bring out the toilet seat. That's what
hang the seat over the head.
At least they didn't get no hit.
No, they didn't know.
Hey, Vanderbilt's been there before.
They've still got a chance to be a definite number 2 and have a problem.
Yeah.
For somebody.
I remember Vanderbilt playing in Omaha one year, had one hit going in the 9th inning, and they suspended the game.
Fullerton, you butthole.
Come out the next day in the 3rd pitch, we take the lead.
Yeah, Mother Nature was not kind.
Oh, it stormed till like 3:00 in the morning that night. They weren't getting that game in. I can't believe.
Oh no, it was legit. They weren't getting the game in, but Fullerton had their guy.
Yeah,
and he would have finished. And he did not.
We weren't hitting him.
Cody, I can't see you, but I know you're there, and I know your voice has been kind of rough, but can you, in as few words as possible, so you don't harm yourself, can you describe your experience and what it's like to be at Hoover Met?
Yeah, give me 1 second. Let me. My phone is acting very stupid right now. There it goes. So this was my 25th year in a row to go to the Hoover Met.
Wow.
Something me and my dad have done every year. I went by myself though. So the atmosphere is very electric because you get all the fans of all the teams mixed together. Mississippi State fans still show up even when their team is irrelevant. I was very
Is their
disappointed
coach
in
going
the
to be back?
crowds. That's a good question. I'm very curious about that, actually. I'm not sure if they're going to let him go, but personally, I would say I'd probably give him one more year and say, hey, you better get out there and recruit, because if you can't get some in the transfer portal to put it together for this coming year, we're making a different decision, because
Sorry
he's
to
definitely
interrupt. Go on with your Hoover.
Oh, yeah. So every year I've gone, there's always, interesting characters. And over the years, there'll be a new one that'll pop up here and there. The weird thing, though, is it's like every year I go, I'd see Mr. Bill Golding, the big South Carolina fan. And, now that he's passed, it's very weird not seeing him walking around down in like just the walkway and with his stuff on. And I mean, stopping, talking to every kid there was there, nicest guy in the world. And,
Mr.
yeah. And but the atmosphere today was nothing special. It was not anywhere near top 50% of what I've seen in the past, but it was still fun to see it. Alabama fans turned out pretty well especially for the weather, which anyone would be stupid not to have gone today, because I mean the weather was freaking fantastic. It was like 68 degrees and a little bit breezy. It was perfect.
You can't skip it on if it might do something in the weather, because for some reason Hoover is weird about weather. It
Absolutely.
could look like it's horrendous and then turn out to be a beautiful day.
Yeah.
So
I mean, but it's always fun. There's some good vendors gonna be setting up later in the week. I'm actually I will not be going tomorrow. I was going to, but plans changed, and I will be going back Thursday, and I'll actually be meeting the In Off the Bench host, Mr. Jim Cross, up there that afternoon. Nice. So that should be pretty cool.
Nice.
So yeah, it's gonna be a fun week.
Is
We're gonna
there
spend a lot of money.
So tell me, did they throw the Kentucky player out of the game?
Honestly, I was in the bathroom when it happened.
I'm glad you're honest.
You just heard the crowd erupt and knew something happened, right?
So I went to pee, washing my hands, and I hear some weird eruption. So obviously I wrap it up and I get out there, and I start just hearing a bunch of just like chatter, and then I go and the game was already back.
Toilet paper on your shoe as you're running out of the bathroom.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen the highlight of it yet or not, but that throw from Pinckney.
Oh, I did. Yes.
Woo,
that was beautiful. That was major league quality right there.
I don't know if you saw it, Jody, but
I don't think I saw it.
Alabama outfielder catches the fly ball, and on no hops, just guns it to the catcher and beats the runner by 2 steps. And then the runner just takes out the catcher.
Poor Gassetti, man. Poor guy.
Knocked him out.
Knocked him smooth out. Oh, wow.
I didn't understand why the coach came out there to argue. Was he trying to say he was blocking the base path? Because he was out by a mile. There was no ifs, ands, or buts on that.
Yeah, I think he was trying to say that he was blocking the base path. But if you look, he's like 2 steps in front of the base path.
Yeah.
And he just kind of leans back. And when he leans back,
just gets obliterated.
He takes a hip bone to the head.
Let me tell you, it was loud.
Oh, man.
But
it's wild.
From what I understood, they threw the Kentucky player out. But I hadn't seen no confirmation of that.
So wait, so that's not allowed in baseball anymore?
Nope.
You're not supposed to be able to truck a catcher.
Oh, not anymore.
Posey rule.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I don't.
Did y'all see last night with in the major leagues, Will Smith getting in Ozuna's face about getting hit in the backswing?
I saw that.
That was crazy.
I didn't see it live, but I saw it after the fact, and I was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, I saw the highlight of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in the old days, he wouldn't get on him. The next pitch would be right in his ear hole.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Right.
Until you knock him out, right?
Yeah.
Yep. We had a freshman kid named Oscar Sinai at Bakersfield, and he was a really exciting kid, and he did all this stuff, and he had a backswing that would hit people, and we had to tell him, Oscar, you got to stop this stuff, man. And he had a couple guys going, that's Bush and this, and they started swinging it. He learned. He actually learned. There's a learning process.
Mm.
So are you eating sunflower seeds, Cody?
No, I got a cough drop in.
Cough drop.
See, you got to meet Dennis Metters, the Spitting Seeds guy off of Twitter, and get you some Chinook seedery. And
yes, tell him to sponsor me, and then I'll get some.
Well, reach out to him.
I'm bad with sunflower seeds because I know you're supposed to crack them open and eat them, and unfortunately, I just take the outside of it and it goes right out on the floor.
And that's
are you a chewer and spitter?
No, I'm not. I'm not. I don't. I know you're gonna laugh at that. Dirty Minded. This is a kid's show. This is a family show. So not
I'm
you,
talking
Jody.
about seeds, darn it.
I know you are, but they're over there giggling like two schoolgirls.
See, and that's the thing with
I don't.
Chinook seedery, George, is
What?
You're not able to just crack them and spit them.
Oh.
Because they have so many random flavors. I found out today that they have cinnamon toast flavored sunflower seeds.
I couldn't do that.
Okay, I don't want no dessert sunflower seeds. That's
I went with
weird.
Twizzlers after they wouldn't let us chew or dip.
That's
you did
smart
Twizzlers
right there.
Yeah.
Did you get the actual Twizzlers that are about that long, or did you get the little nuggets, the nibs?
No, I went to the long ones. It was good.
Just the licorice flavored one.
You know what? I was surprised. I'm watching some games this year on the SEC and whatever, and I pretty sure I saw some people actually chewing and or dipping and spitting.
Yep. I thought so too.
And the umpires, I'm not going to say which league, SEC, but they didn't do anything about it.
No, I saw that too, and I thought that looked very suspect.
Florida may lose a couple guys once if they start bearing down on that.
Yeah, that's who I saw it too. Was a couple Florida guys.
It's like,
but
this
they
is
have
ridiculous. You're supposed to hide it.
Well, they have that fake chew, and I don't know if they've outlawed that stuff.
No. You're not supposed to use the fake chew.
Oh, you're not supposed to use
like
any
the fake dip stuff that the Giants were using.
Mm-hmm.
That's non-tobacco. They said, one of those guys that is very, very notorious in the SEC, that umpire that threw some people out, told me that stuff. You can't do that. So maybe he's making it up.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with the rules.
Would that be the umpire that's got the mullet and the mustache?
The one that was all over Vitello that he bumped?
Yep.
Yep, that would be him.
He's actually a very good umpire.
He is. Yeah,
he's Mr. Rulebook himself.
He just gets involved in a lot of stuff.
Well, he does involve himself lately. It must have been a TV game because we didn't have much TV games. But he was actually okay.
Okay.
How about that?
So what's going to happen with the weather at Hoover?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
It's going to be sunny the rest of the week.
Rain.
Nah.
He goes sunny. He goes rain.
No.
They got a tarp. They'll be fine.
Well, it's like I said. You can't choose. You can't go with a prediction because it's Hoover is Hoover. It's going to do what it does, and you could think it's an 80% chance it'll be sunny and 75 all day. So
I will say this: when I woke up this morning at 7:00 and I saw that radar, I was saying there is no way they get this thing in today.
Oh yeah, I saw those messages pop through and ding 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 ding. I was like, we're not playing. It doesn't look like they're going to play till 5:00 in the afternoon. I was like, there is no way they're going to wait till 5:00 in the evening.
They would do it
because the entire northern half of Alabama was covered in a big yellow blob.
Yeah.
Ain't no way they're going to start this on time.
No.
So
the rule for the tournament is as long as you can start the game before midnight, it can go on.
Mm.
Who wants
Coaches
to play at
love
midnight?
that, by the way.
I bet coaches absolutely love that.
Oh yeah.
So do the fans.
What was the latest game you ever played, Jody?
We had a WAC tournament that got lightning.
Yeah.
And we were waiting, and we decided at 10:30 we weren't going to play. And we came back at 8 in the morning.
Oh God.
We got our ass kicked, but sorry, can't say that.
No, you're fine.
We were not very happy about that. You know, you're taking BC in the cage at 7:15.
Yeah.
The worst was actually a real tournament, was a regional.
Mm-hmm.
Waterbury, Connecticut. We had they brought a tournament in Waterbury, Connecticut because they had a bunch of Big East teams. They had 3 of those. They brought Illinois, Arkansas, Arizona State in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We got beat by Lemoyne. I think the other team was Penn, and I forget who else. But they had some rain. Arizona State had to play an 8 a.m. game.
Cool.
Jim Brock was livid.
I bet.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I think Arizona State won that game and won that tournament. Norm DeBrine was there, and it was amazing. It was like, whoa, talk about a terrible, terrible regional. The worst I was ever in.
Wow.
They threw turf over a running track so we could have a field. It was ridiculous.
What? Oh my goodness.
No, the Big East had 3 leagues and they bought the tournament.
Oh wow.
Arizona State and Arkansas were not very happy.
No.
We got in at Illinois as like a throw-in, and Augie said, "Hey, great, we're at a tournament."
That's awesome.
I did see where the Indiana softball fans would have been proud of the Hoover grounds crew today.
Oh yeah.
That was a mess.
Did they have a snafu today? What happened? I missed it.
At Indiana, the coach stood there on the field and wouldn't let the grounds crew roll out the tarp in the rain delay.
Okay.
Wow.
That's
It was
about some dedication.
Yeah. It kind of reminded you of Tiananmen Square with the one person standing in front of the tank.
In front of the tarp.
This Indiana coach is standing in front of the tarp.
Tarps are dangerous.
Yes, they are.
We played at Mizzou, and I was from the Midwest by then. We got rain. All these sirens start going on, which was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
As we were going in, the guys go, "Whoa, we're tornado watch, whatever." And I said, "If you hear sirens, just go for whatever." And all of a sudden, there was a wreck, and all these sirens started. Our guys are looking line like crazy, but they said, "That's it." So they brought out the tarp, and the wind came up, and one of our kids, about 145 pounds, Spencer Messmore, jumps on this tarp and gets thrown about 15 feet in the air.
Whoa.
It's like, holy moly.
Whoa.
So we finally got it down, and it was like, oh, man. So, and I got trapped in the tarp at Bakersfield. We bought a brand new tarp, doing all this stuff. All of a sudden, I'm trapped in it. It's like, there are pictures of that. Mike McCarthy, who's now the bullpen coach at the Oakland Athletics, has darn pictures of that.
Oh man,
Tarps are bad.
You're gonna have to find a picture of that. We'd love to see that.
Well, you can't see me, but you can see the tarp trapping me.
Oh, there you go.
And there's actually videos on YouTube of people getting rolled up in the tarp as it's being rolled out, getting caught underneath of it. It's pretty dangerous.
Craziness.
There was a Cardinal player, Coleman maybe,
Vince Coleman got
injured by the tarp.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Got hurt during the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Tarps are bad.
Tarps are.
Tarps are good, but tarps are bad.
Oh man. Well, we got anything else, Chris? I think we covered every tournament, right?
Loyola Marymount is gonna. They're in. They're not having a tournament at the West Coast Conference, right?
No. Yep.
Yeah, West
They canceled
Coast.
that.
Ivy League doesn't have a tournament.
Mountain West.
I think Harvard is already in.
Yeah.
Army won.
Nah, Penn got in.
Oh, Penn got in.
Yeah, Penn's in. Army's in. That's two that I know about right now off the top of my head.
Did Sunbelt not have one either?
Another tournament in Waterbury, Connecticut.
Yeah. The Sunbelt has one, but all the graphics were web files instead of JPEGs.
Oh, that's the only one we couldn't go over. Dominic, where are you? We need your insight.
I actually think
Missouri Valley. Indiana State is the favorite, but they're going to play at Springfield. I think that tournament is right. Missouri Valley.
Missouri State, yeah.
Springfield and Missouri.
That's a great stadium, by the way.
Yeah, that's the place that that's the team that Arkansas was playing in Missouri State when they were played till 3:00 in the morning when it was raining, and Van Horn went out there when the umpire was going to call the game and said, "No, we're playing, let these boys play." And we lost by one run.
Van Horn got a break because Missouri State was a higher seed than them.
Yeah,
but the Springfield Cardinals had the field, so they had to play the Super at Fayetteville.
Yeah, you're right. You were correct.
And that was a great game.
I do remember that. Yep. Yep. Yeah, I'm not finding Sunbelt anything. It doesn't matter.
WAC's going to play.
Yeah.
Okay. The WAC's a one bid. Whoever wins, it's in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Sam Houston winning that thing? I don't know.
Sam Houston. Yeah.
Maybe.
Pretty soon it'll all be over.
Yeah. I can't believe it's May 23rd. How did we get here? Baseball.
Well, I got a regional story as far as the selection date. We were at Cal State Bakersfield. We were an independent.
Mm-hmm.
We're waiting and waiting. They said, "Oh, you guys come here. We're going to have a little whatever shot and do this." I said, "No, I'm not going." Kernan said, "I'm not going."
Mm-hmm.
And we ended up being the independent that made it. But one of our kids had seen it already on ESPN. They had some show, and it was Miami and us. We actually both made it. It's like we were the last one named, but we weren't the last team in. So it's like, wow.
Right.
That's awesome.
We were 3 outs from Omaha.
Man.
Wow.
We beat the crap out of Miami.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, we always love your insight, Jody. I'm so glad you were able to join us tonight.
Yeah.
War stories. That's all they are.
I love it. We love it. Baseball fans.
Me and George was struggling early.
Oh, we weren't struggling
that
early, but
pretty quick.
Yeah.
It did. Yeah, it came pretty fast. That's the problem. If it's just me and him, we're so task oriented. It's just like, and you're like, oh, we've only been on for 10 minutes.
Well, I'm hoping somewhere along the line, I told a couple of Fullerton alums if they get in the regional, we're going. So they've got to win this weekend, and it'll be rugged. So we'll see. If they sweep, they've got a chance of getting in.
Sure. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll have to share a picture with all of them and share it so we can put it on the show. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's going to happen, but hey.
Hey, if it happens, we'll get a chance to see.
If it happens, and we go to regional. But I got grandbabies up in Minnesota I got to go visit too.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And grandbabies are going to probably win out.
Probably. Oh, yeah. I would say so.
Yeah.
So Van Horn, what's he going to do? He's going to host.
Yeah.
Who else is going to host? Vandy.
Corbin.
Yeah, I think Vandy gets a host.
LSU's going to host.
LSU will host.
I had my top 8. It was Wake Forest at 1, Florida at 2, Arkansas 3,
somewhere around there. Yep.
Stanford at 4.
Who?
Yeah, you had Stanford.
Stanford at 4.
Yeah.
LSU at 5.
Yep.
Vandy at 6. Clemson at 7, and Coastal Carolina at 8.
Yep.
That's pretty solid, I think.
I don't think it changes. I think that's pretty close.
That's just my guess. I think Vanderbilt can go anywhere from 6 to 8.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I think those guys are going to host, and then if they win, that's the super.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
I just find it hard to keep a top 5 ranked team out of top 8 host.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's what we got in Coastal Carolina. They're ranked in the top 5. They have to host.
Mm-hmm.
And their stadium's good enough.
Yes.
Yep. They put a lot of money in that stadium.
And I believe everybody's kind of like leaning that way. Can we is the stadium going to bring people in? Are we going to be able to sit them? Are we going to be able to do a TV from them?
Mm-hmm.
So all that works.
And
Florida, I was surprised Florida is drawing better.
Mm-hmm.
Same.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I actually do believe that Connecticut is going to get a regional host.
Like
you have
17 or 16 or something like that.
16, 15, somewhere in that neighborhood. Because you have to put a host team somewhere up in the Northeast. And who do you got?
Waterbury, Connecticut.
I mean, who do you got? You got UConn and Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you got in the Northeast.
That's pretty much it.
Maybe Northeastern, but they don't have the facilities that UConn and Maryland do.
Yeah.
So I actually think
if Maryland wins the Big Ten, they're hosting.
I could see either them or UConn.
Well, I think both of them.
Yeah.
That would be interesting to have both of them.
Indiana State, and I don't know how that stadium's any better than it was.
Yeah.
As far as seating, but Indiana State, maybe has a chance.
And the reason I say UConn is, I think it was like 17 or 18 where they were like 40-10.
Mm-hmm.
Their numbers are good.
And they didn't get to host because they sat less than 1,000 people.
Yep.
Yeah, and they sunk a ton of money in there.
Put a lot.
Program. Yeah.
Matter of fact, when they did the expose on it, they were saying, "Hey, they've got the money that they're investing in it.
Mm-hmm.
The work just isn't done yet."
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to hold it against them that they didn't have the facilities before,
mm-hmm.
and now they're ranked in the top 16, they've got the facilities that they've invested in to host.
Yeah,
you have to reward that.
I agree.
At Fullerton, for the first 8 times in regionals, we never hosted because we didn't have a field or stadium. And then they finally did that in about 2012, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
And Campbell, they did apply to be a regional host at a off-site facility that seats like 4,500. And they played another off-site game somewhere earlier this year and drew 3,000 fans. So the one where they applied to host at seats 4,500. So I could see them getting, even though it's not in their own facilities, I could see them getting a spot.
It's not as good for you. UCSB did that a couple years ago and went to Rancho Cucamonga and lost. So big difference. Santa Barbara, Rancho Cucamonga. So
yeah. Well, man, what a show it's been tonight. We're running a little long, but we've had. That's okay. No, you're good.
We love having you on.
We'll love it. We can sit here and listen to your stories all night.
So I got to ask, Cody, are you able to take us out today?
Yes, I am.
Do you have your timing down tonight?
Oh wait, no, I'm not. I'm on my phone, so I don't have access to any of the files.
Nope. You're gonna have to.
Oh yeah, no.
Yep.
I'm going to have to try it.
You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it.
I'm
when it's
trying.
halfway through the video, hit end broadcast and you'll be good to go.
All right.
Yeah, there you go. See?
Well, we appreciate everybody that watches us. We didn't get very many comments this week, but
where's Bob Bright at?
So I'm wondering.
Bob usually gets in there and throws some comments in. But
who knows? But it's and it's been heavy tournament talk. But we need to thank all of our sponsors. We thank JustBats.com.
Row One Brand.
Row One Brand. Yep.
I want to thank Variety Sports for having us on here and letting us do our thing.
Yes.
Without them, we would be just another struggling podcast if we're not already. But we appreciate everybody watching us, and we'll be back next week to talk NCAA tournament and all of our regions and break those down, and we may even pick some winners.
Yeah, so, make sure you subscribe if you're on YouTube. Make sure you share it. Sharing is caring. That way we can get as many people as possible to grow the game. That's the goal. That's why we do all this. That's why we don't mind plugging other people's podcasts. It's not a competition in that sense. It's just to grow the game. So
that's right.
That being said,
hold on, George. Don't forget to share college football dogs to everybody.
Oh yeah, right. All right, Cody, you had to throw that in there.
I had to throw that in there, huh?
Cody, have fun in the Uber.
Absolutely, we'll do.
Yeah, keep us posted, and I'm sure you will. And that being said, we will catch y'all on the flip side next Tuesday. We'll try to be right at 8:30, and you guys have a great night. We'll see you.